But you want to be a lady.
I've left everything I ever had.
I know you think I'm not half good enough.
A very respectable woman.
Give dinner parties and entertain your husband's friends.
I'm sure Cleopatra never bothered about Neptune rings.
I'm not a well-behaved.
But I want you to be absolutely perfect.
Welcome to the Well-Behaved Woman Podcast Musical, the series. Research episodes.
Well, this is the intro episode.
This is an intro episode.
Intro episode.
The very first episode you've ever heard.
Wow. Not for us because we've been filming all day.
But this is the first episode
you.
you're ever going to hear.
Ooh.
So it's pretty big. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I'm Robyn.
And I'm Katrina.
And we are sisters.
Yeah, can you tell? Do we look the same?
If you're just listening online, imagine we don't look the same.
We kind of do. I don't know.
Depends on what color our hair is.
That's true.
But yeah, so we are writing a musical.
We are.
A Mennonite musical.
A Mennonite women musical.
A Mennonite women musical. And we're going to tell you about it.
Yeah.
If you don't know what it is, this is an intro episode. If you know everything about our project, you can skip ahead. Don't listen to this first one, but... Or do, because actually we're going to have some good...
We're going to have cool things. You should listen.
Do listen, okay.
Yeah, listen in. But first, we wanted to give ourselves a little intro of who we are.
Yeah.
So, Robyn, will you tell me a little bit about who you are if I had never met you before?
Well, you see, I think, therefore...
Wow, so deep.
Yeah, I know. Okay, no. I am Robyn, 32, live in Vancouver, the downtown east side. I love doing all things creative, and I love doing fun things outside, and I love animals and music, and I like watching shows and cooking. This year, I gave myself a challenge. As my New Year's resolution, that I'm not allowed to buy anything that's not an ingredient.
What did we have for lunch today, Robyn?
No. I'm allowed to go out for food.
Oh, okay.
And stuff. I'm just not allowed to bring anything into my house that's not an ingredient.
I see.
So I can't
for the whole year?
Yeah.
Oof, that's
so
hard.
I have to, I'm making yogurt from scratch, cheese from scratch, butter from scratch.
So no Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, I have to make them from scratch if I want them. But it means I have to buy the fruit, buy the sugar, buy the flour, I can't. But it's saving me money, one, and two, I'm learning a lot.
Is it saving you time?
No. Definitely not.
Money is time.
But I like doing it's fun.
That's good.
So it's been a fun project. But also I am a musician. This is the relevant.
Yeah, what makes you qualified to write a musical, Robyn? Tell me about that.
The relevant things is that I am a songwriter, and I've been writing songs since I was really little. And I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do. And I have not ever written a musical song. Actually, that's a lie. I did write one once.
I would say most of your songs have a musical element to them.
I mean, a musical,
You're a storyteller through your music.
But yeah, I like to tell stories. But genre-wise, your classic musical theater kind of style.
Half of that is just based on how you sing it.
That's true, I guess. But I love storytelling, and so I'm here to write songs, and I mean I'll help with script too. Obviously, we're gonna help with different things, but that is my thing I can bring in. I have music out there you can listen to. Look me up, Robyn Froese. I'm on streaming services, or you can buy my stuff on Bandcamp.
All right, Bandcamp. That's enough self-promotion there.
Okay, tell me about yourself.
I'm Katrina. I recently got married, so I'm Katrina McCarthy. I lost my Mennonite last name, but I put it in my middle name, so I'm still a Froese. Yeah, what about me? I love to read, and I like to play my Nintendo Switch. And, I have a little dog named Sully, and you'll see him in a bunch of the videos if you're watching the videos, because he pretty much always is with me. I actually currently work as an administrator for Mennonite Church, British Columbia, so I have a big in on the Mennonite world currently, which has been very enlightening. And what about me? We grew up in a very musical theater family.
We did.
Our whole family does music of some kind.
We were every single one of us kids was in a musical.
Every single one of us was the lead in a musical through high school for I think it was 20 some years.
No,
our high school had a
20,
phrase
10.
from Nick's first year to my last year.
would be like 16 years or something.
I don't know, something like that.
Too
but
many years. Like,
every
sorry,
year there was
Bedford
at
Road
least a
Collegiate.
phrase. Yeah.
You stole all of
Yeah,
the
sorry,
the
Bedford.
leads.
But that was cool. Anyways, our family like sang together and we all played instruments and we just did a lot of music together and all did theater to a degree. I, however, took it a little farther than everyone else. I took musical theater classes growing up. And then when I graduated high school, I went to the Canadian College of Performing Arts and did a year there studying theater. And then from there, I have just done a bunch of random theater projects. I've traveled with a touring company, with a theater company, and I have run a kids theater camp every summer for the past 8 summers now, where several of those summers I have written and put together and directed my own shows. So I have written a lot of musicals at this point. However, they're all kids musicals, so adult musical will be a little different. And what else have I done? I do a lot of community theater and a couple of professional productions as well now. Most recently, I was in A Peter Rabbit Tale with Satora in Vancouver. What else do I do?
You do a lot of things.
I do lots of random stuff.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a hobby crafter type girl. I do a lot of like, I don't know, crocheting and craft projects.
Well, I'm more like throw paint at a giant canvas and collage.
Yeah, I'm like practical crafts and she's more like vague craft.
Like, let my heart speak.
And I'm like, if it's not useful afterwards, why would I do this?
Yeah, we take different approaches.
But we both love film and television and theater and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
we love storytelling.
Yeah.
That's the thing we hold in common.
For sure.
And we loved playing like imagination games growing up. We played so many imagination games. And it was almost always one or both of us was a secret princess who was like an orphan.
Always. There was always an orphan and a secret princess and then like a ball where she would have to be like, I've got to go to this ball.
Oh no!
And then the
I'll be
prince would like find that she's the secret princess.
And we'd like have like a blanket on the ground full of trinkets that we're selling to try and make a quick dollar. And our parents were always dead. We definitely romanticized being orphans, which is weird because our parents are great. We had no reason to romanticize that.
But yet, like, you see on the internet, it was a very common thing.
It really was.
So we don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, we had very active imaginations and played together a lot and did music together.
We still have active imagination.
We do.
So I think it's gonna work.
Hence this.
Yeah.
We have joked about / half seriously talked about writing a musical together for quite a while.
Yeah, there's been like multiple road trips where we just start writing like outlines for a random musical we're
or
gonna
like
write.
Just improvise a song on the spot and see what we come up with for fun.
And like it's never actualized beyond that. But this time
we've had many ideas, but this time we got picked.
We were like, we can get money to do it. And like, what better motivator than money?
But for reals though, when you have no time, but then all of a sudden you're getting paid to do it, then time, like I said, time is money.
I have time all of a sudden. So yeah, it like got birthed out of this idea of like our grandma was a Mennonite woman, and our
sister's writing a story or writing a book based on our grandma's life, using our grandma's journals and stuff. So that was really inspiring to us. And we were like, that would be cool to write a musical based on that. And then we're like, maybe we'll just make it general to all Mennonite women.
Yeah, because there's like so much bigger story and like so many stories to tell, which is something we will unpack of like, what is a Mennonite woman?
Yeah,
but
this
we'll
project started small
there.
and got very large very quickly.
So big.
Yeah.
But that's okay. And so let's explain what this project is.
Yeah. Okay. So Canadian Mennonite offers this grant. And we applied for it and they gave it to us along with I think 6 other groups or 6 total, I don't know, something like that. And so we're one of their projects in Menno Creative is what it's called, and we are putting together a podcast musical.
Yeah, and so we have heard other podcast musicals. It's not the first to ever exist.
We didn't make up the concept.
But it's just short episodes of a musical released via podcast format, and so it's just a way of sharing media rather than having to be somewhere to watch a production live. You can share like a 20-minute episode, and so we're going to split a woman's life into 6 different episodes, each episode being like, let's say a 10 to 20-year time of her life, and try to just share these little vignettes of what that looks like.
It's an Anne of Green Gables kind of style.
Yeah, where you're kind of getting little snippets.
Yeah, a
or
bunch of little
Little Women.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like
a coming of age story to a degree.
Yeah.
But also we're going to go beyond just coming of age.
Yes. Coming of old age.
coming of life.
Coming of life. Yeah, and it's going to be a 2-woman musical, so
Right.
we're
It's
the
just
only
the two of
ones
us.
performing it.
But we are getting a band.
We will have live music
Yeah.
in it, which is very fun.
Possibly a live fiddle, which sounds awesome.
Yeah. And so in this, so by the time you hear this, we'll probably be done writing our musical already, but we are like
Done.
just beginning now.
Beginning. This episode's releasing in like 2 weeks.
Okay, so by the time you hear this, we will just be beginning our musical. But when we like started all of it, we gave ourselves 3 months to research Mennonites and research women and research feminism and all of these things that were going to play a role in history. And we're like, we just need to like know about this.
We don't want to
more.
write like an Apple Watch into 1930.
Yeah.
Like, that would be dumb. So we need to know what goes where.
So we gave ourselves 3 months to do it. As we began, we were like, okay, well, we want to interview people because that's a great way to learn rather than just reading
People know
things.
stuff.
People got
It's
stuff
true.
to tell us.
Mhm.
And as we began planning these interviews, we realized, wow, these are so good. We need to share these.
These are incredible stories.
So our project grew from just a 6-episode podcast musical to
What is this, 16 episodes
No.
now?
13.
13 episodes?
13 episodes.
We're not doing a conclusion episode?
Maybe we'll do 14 episodes.
Maybe 14 episodes. So many episodes. We got so many interviews of so many different people and so many people telling us more things to interview, and we didn't even get to all the ones we wanted to.
Yeah.
But we had to cut it off eventually, so we didn't interview everyone we wanted to. But yeah, like so much information and so much like depth of information too.
So we split those interviews up into the equivalent of these 6 episodes of the musical. So we're going
stages.
So we're having 6 episodes after this one, the intro episode. We have 6 episodes of this research that we've done, and so we would split up in one interview or like different interviews into these stages of life.
Yeah, we asked several questions to every person, and then whatever question applied to whatever theme it was, we put it there.
Yeah.
But one question that kind of popped up after maybe our second or third interview, all of a sudden we realized this is what we're really trying to ask here.
It was right at the beginning, the first interview.
I don't think it was the first interview.
You just said the question different, but it was the very first.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, anyways, early on, the question is, what is a Mennonite woman? This question has really haunted us. And we're really like, there's so many ways you can answer this question. And so we asked it to everyone we interviewed, and we got some very good answers.
Because it's a really hard question, and it's not just an easy answer.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to answer it quite yet for you,
No.
but we're going to give you little snippets of what most of our interviewees have said, and we're going to show you that. And
There's a nice little collage, I guess.
of what is a Mennonite woman.
What is a Mennonite woman?
Well, first of all, what is a Mennonite? Anything always has at least 2 strands of the ethnicities and participation in a Mennonite church. And I'm sure there's more. So a Mennonite woman in reality could be anybody who sees themselves as a woman and has a strong connection, either given them or that they've chosen and walked into with a Mennonite community, an ethnic Mennonite community or a Mennonite intellectual or church community. So I feel like it's kind of what's given to you or what you make it.
Okay, the simplest answer is a woman who is a Mennonite. um, it's easy for me to go toward the stereotype when you say that. And I think one of the things that I keep in mind is that while I think bonnet and horse and buggy and simple living and that sort of thing, the reality is a Mennonite woman in the world today is an Ethiopian woman in her 20s. That's what a Mennonite is today, statistically speaking. And if she's not that, it is a woman from India. Those are the two, and to my knowledge, neither of those are wearing bonnets or eating pasca or eating like doing the kinds of things that are cultural. So I think that's what I really actually try to keep in my mind is I go to the horse and buggy, and I suppose the other answer is me. What is a Mennonite woman? Like that's how I identify. And so maybe I do go back to my sort of flippant answer of it's a woman who identifies as Mennonite.
I mean, when I'm thinking like a stereotypical Mennonite woman, like if I was an AI generator right now and you asked me to generate a Mennonite woman, I would generate like a meek, brown hair, white skin, prairie girl who's probably married really young and either has a lot of kids or a kid on the way, and her greatest joy in life is cooking. So like that would be my like stereotypical image in my mind when someone asks what a Mennonite woman is. But like in my experience, what a Mennonite woman is, they're usually very creative or artistic. Whether they're exercising that muscle or not is debatable, but they're usually hugely creative people or artistic people with a lot to say and a lot to input and influence their family, their culture, their friend groups, everything. But I do feel like a lot of Mennonite women minimize themselves. And in my mind, a Mennonite woman is like someone who has this whole, I don't even know what the right word is, like this whole person inside of them that they only show part of it. That would be a typical Mennonite woman to me if I went deeper than, just generate a Mennonite woman in your mind.
Wow. Well, with gender these days too, it can be a variety of things. It can be a transgender person who identifies as a woman. It can be a non-binary person might use the pronoun she. Things are much more fluid than they were in the 1990s. And that's not a reality we were looking at. And we didn't even really talk about lesbians or anything in the 90s. That was a bridge too far to talk about. And now it's probably something you're going to, have stories about that.
Boy, that's a big, big question. And I don't know that to me, it has to do so much with the ethnic background and sort of a sense of community. And as Carol says, including any bi, trans, lesbian kind of human beings in this quandary or this group is so important.
What is a Mennonite woman?
I think any woman who ascribes to a Mennonite church, I would say, like that to me would be the purest form. Yeah, who attends and that's really general, but like honestly, I think it needs to open up more than what it traditionally has been. I think women should be able to self-identify as a Mennonite woman, and it shouldn't be, people should opt into it. It shouldn't be a thing that, oh, I'm genetically Mennonite, or I'm grew up in this, or my grandparents founded the church, or my grandparents can tell you about coming over from Russia, the colonies. But Like I actually I want it to be something that's empowering and open. So that's where I would press in. I would say, you want to be a Mennonite woman? Be a Mennonite woman. Like, own it. And I probably press more into Anabaptism. Like, I think in general, the Mennonite church probably needs to start reframing away from using Mennonite as an identifier, because has become so limiting. Like, I have people who are like, well, do you have to be Mennonite to go to your church? No, you don't have to. Like, what is that's silly. Like, anyone could come, and you don't have to be white. But the problem is that, like, because I'm at First Mennonite Church, we are the first Mennonite church. We're having our centennial right now. Like, we're in our centennial year. And there are people who are like, oh, we could bring back like German hymn singing. Like, they used to have a German service, like a full German service here. And I go, but that is really exclusionary. And it feels like it's going backwards, like, especially in such a multicultural time where we're trying to find language that is common. I don't mind honoring like where we've been, but we have to do that in a good way. And we have to do it in an invitational way. And then we have to also honor the other cultures that are present in our in our church body. So I don't know. Maybe some people would have way more articulate things to say about who is a Mennonite woman, but I think, just from my perspective, I think any woman who would want to call themselves a Mennonite.
Robyn, as we were growing up, we grew up in a Mennonite church, Mennonite background, Mennonite grandparents. What did you think a Mennonite woman was, or did you even know what that was?
I had no idea. I did not know what a Mennonite was. I'm sure I heard the word, but I was maybe because we were inundated in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it wasn't until I was like 16 that I was like, oh, we go to a Mennonite church and I go to Mennonite camp and we're Mennonite. I think I would maybe tell people like, oh, we're Mennonite. Maybe I think I normally would just say German because like I just didn't really know what it is. But then, like, as soon as I kind of learned what it was, it definitely came with a stereotype. Like, it was like, oh, Mennonite, it's the old lady who makes the buns at the thing.
That's potluck.
Yeah. Like, it, like, all of a sudden, was just like, oh, this is what a Mennonite woman is. Okay, yeah. Like, I don't know if I was conscious of it. Yeah. Do you remember?
Not really, but I remember someone asking me when I was pretty young. I told them that I went to church, and they were like, oh, what kind of church do you go to? And I was like, I don't actually know. So I asked my dad, and I remember him giving me several different answers because he wasn't really sure what I was asking, right? So I was like, Dad, what kind of church do we go to? And I think he first started, he was like, it's an evangelical church. And I was like, okay. And then the person was like, but what kind? I was like, Dad, what kind of evangelical church is this? And then he just like kept whittling it down the different categories. And then eventually Mennonite was one of the answers. And but even in Mennonite, there's multiple categories.
Yeah, like, are you Mennonite?
So like, we were MB, and I don't think I really clued into my brain that MB was anything different from the church down the road. Like, what's the difference? I don't know. Ours is correct and theirs is wrong, obviously. That would be how my brain thought at that point. So I don't know if I noticed what a Mennonite was in particular. I just knew that I was one, the same way that I knew that I was German and Ukrainian. And it was, this is just my history and who I am, apparently.
Yeah. And I think every time I would say it to someone, they'd be like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
Amish? Like, no. I'm like, it's like Jewish.
Yeah. That's where I'd go with that too. Like,
it's like
a
like
culture
Jewish, and a faith. Like trying to explain that. They're like, okay.
Without sounding like insensitive or racist.
Like, I don't know. What? I have no idea
how does one say
what
that
I am.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but like just looking back on it now, seeing the people in our lives who were Mennonite women like, we went to a pretty quirky, unique church. I don't think we had a stereotypical Mennonite women experience, honestly.
Like, out of the norm.
Yeah, like, you would not look at this church and be like, that's a Mennonite church. You would have been like, this is some weird, charismatic, artsy-fartsy church. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
which
is unique.
Makes sense why we're the way we are.
Yeah.
But there was, like, I guess a handful of, like, stereotypical
we had our, you know, our classic.
Yeah.
And a lot of Mennonite last names for sure.
But something that was in common with Mennonites, now that I'm older and I know what that is, we had a lot of potlucks. A lot of food. Food was a big major theme in our church.
It was, very, very
a lot
important.
of, like, community was a huge thing.
Yeah.
And gathering together and being hosted.
But, like, ideas like pacifism, that was
never
talked about.
Yeah. Like, I think we would have said we believe that, but I don't think it would have been.
We would have.
Like, if someone asked you if you believe in violence, you would have been like, no, that's a bad thing.
But I think I wouldn't have been like, I'm against going to war because I'm a child and I don't want to die. But, like, I'm not, like, I don't think I, like, thought, like, oh, this is something I'm, like, against because it's wrong, because
I remember in grade 4 on a Remembrance Day, we had to write, like, a project of, like, what are you thankful for the veterans or something? And I remember, this is so bad. I was like, I'm not thankful because they shouldn't have had to go to war in the first place, and war is bad.
Oh, no.
So I clearly had this idea in grade 4.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I thought I was being so revolutionary, too. I was like, everyone's going to think this is so good.
I am not thankful for your death.
You shouldn't have died in war. You shouldn't have even gone.
Yeah.
So.
First of all, why'd you even go over there?
That's your fault. I wish my brain.
Oh, that's so bad and funny. Nice.
But then there's that whole question of, like, if your child was attacked, would you attack the attacker? And I remember having to grapple with that idea. Or, like, if you saw a baby about to be killed, would you? And the only way to stop them
still grapple with, like, how do you?
Oh yeah.
Like, people are being abducted.
Yeah. Like,
do you?
Very prevalent.
Do you go out and get in the way?
Yeah.
And do you fight someone? Do you?
At what point is violence allowed? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does two guns make a no gun situation?
Because the idea of pacifism comes from, like, the teaching of Jesus.
Yeah.
So, like, the sword for a sword.
Yeah.
Makes the whole world blind. What does this say?
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
You know,
turn the other cheek.
There's a lot of things. Like, don't
an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Is that where you're going with that? Yeah.
Cuts the ear off.
Yeah.
He's like, don't do it. Heals it. Like, those kind of things.
Yeah. So, like, third wave.
But also, he jumped on flipping tables and gets angry. Is that a type of
anger?
violence?
Yeah. Anger is a separate thing, perhaps.
But, like, I think of Jesus' teaching, and he's like, you just even look at a person, and that's lusting
Gouge
over
out
them,
your
right?
eyes.
Cut
off your hand if it's gonna steal.
And so it feels like if you're gonna flip a table, how's that different than
just
punching
flip it
someone?
at the person?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It feels kind of
as long as you're not touching the person directly. That's what he's trying to say.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta
you're
be
not actually. You're not touching them. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely an interesting question.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Who are we? We're not Theo Bros.
We're not Jesus.
No, we're not Jesus. Anyway, so that's our thoughts on. Anyway, we're Mennonite, is what we're trying to say.
And here is a benediction from someone. Who said it? Val Hebert?
Oh, like, you want to give one more?
She said, she closes it out so nicely.
Okay, we're gonna give you Val Hebert's thoughts.
Yeah,
I like
this is her way of closing it out and kind of blessing our project. So
yeah,
here you go.
She is my grandma, who worked alongside of my dad on the dairy farm, birthed all her children at home, never said I love you, because Low German doesn't even have that word in it, but loved her children fiercely and worked hard and fed everybody out of her garden. She is my mother, who loves us with her hands, with all the sewing and the baking and the buns that get sent home and the meals that get made and the cuddles for all the little people and the constant welcome. Just that constant welcome mat, that constant need to gather. And not just her family, but the people who suddenly don't have a place to say, come, come, come be with us. Me, who's invented her own version of the Mennonite woman, compared to my grandma and my mom, in that I gave myself voice in places where they didn't have voice. But I also make a lot of food. I also cuddle a lot of little ones. I also lay out that welcome mat that says, come, come, come and be. Come and be with us. Let us feed you. Let us keep you warm. Let's give you a bath. What do you need? That feels, I just feel like I was trained into all of that by my grandmother and my mother. And it's my granddaughter, Nora, who's 6 years old now, and who reads stories with me about Mother God, and who joins me to say goodnight to the sun and thank her for feeding us and lighting our way during the day. Living inside this little homestead where one day she's going to say, what, your grandma doesn't live where you live? What? This is not how other people do it? But we'll live inside of all those, what I think are strong, grand traditions that have been carved out, nurtured, and held firm by generations of Mennonite women. The power of the Mennonite woman to create a circle of love is astronomical, I think.